Well, it's Wednesday, and a little update. On Monday, I had an orientation for being a substitute teacher for the Davis School District, which is where my kids go to school. And that's probably the most likely one for me to actually work at. So hopefully they get everything done. I need to get like a login information for a website that they all use for assigning teachers. I don't have that login for them, so I need to get that information so I can start getting accepting assignments from them. And so that's done. The weight is okay. We had a big feast on Sunday, and uh, it was a lot of food, but whatever. Speaking of food, this is another little mini science lesson, and again, not an expert, and again, feel free to correct me. But a couple things. First of all, the weight of what you eat is the maximum weight you can gain from what you eat. Now, I know that sounds weird and anti-diet stuff, and so I can eat a pound of sugar and I'll only gain a pound. Well, yes, you'll have all kinds of other health issues, but yes, a pound of sugar can only make you gain a pound. It's just a simple law of chemistry, physics, all kinds of science. The other thing is that how do you lose weight? Where does the weight go? So there's a couple obvious ones. When you go to the bathroom, you lose weight that way. Sweating, oddly, doesn't really lose you much weight. It sounds like it does, and it does temporarily, but mostly you're dehydrating yourself, and you need to hydrate yourself again, and that's just going to bring the weight back. So it's like, oh, I just sweated off 3 pounds, which is actually a lot of weight. If you sweat off 3 pounds, you're doing a lot of sweating. But then you drink, and your body goes, oh, thank goodness I've got water again, and it drinks it back. And of course, you also need certain kinds of minerals and stuff as well. So that's one thing. So you can't really sweat it off, at least not really. You can burn it off. Now, like I said, exercise is good for a lot of reasons. But unless you're doing a lot of exercise, don't expect it to have a big effect on the scale. You lose weight anytime anything comes out of your body. So you go to the bathroom, yes. Um, when you fart, when you pass wind, you lose weight. Now, again, it's not a huge amount each time, but it is something coming out of your body. And the odd one that a lot of people don't think about is when you breathe. And we all been told, especially people all talk about climate change and stuff like that, that you breathe in oxygen and you breathe out CO2. Well, you're picking up the C, and that's from your body burning energy. I mean, it's this thing we talked about with carbohydrates and hydrocarbons. That's sugars, carbs, and fats that your body burns. The byproducts is it takes in oxygen, and it winds up with CO2, which is carbon dioxide, and H2O, which is water. That's the basic byproducts of you burning carbohydrates and hydrocarbons in your body, and that's your sugars and fats. So you breathe out CO2. So your breath out weighs more than your breath in. And I know it's a tiny amount, but how much do you breathe? Now, I don't know if you're going to breathe out a pound a day. I would be surprised if it's that much, but you're breathing out. So yes, that's actually probably one of the primary ways just from just burning energy is you breathe because you're peeing. That's the water part of the equation, and you're breathing out CO2. So there's extra carbon in your breath, and a lot of the water that you're peeing out isn't water you bring in. It's the water as a byproduct of burning the fuel in your body. So mini chemistry lesson, mini update. We'll see what happens this week. Oh, yes. And on Friday, I'll wait till Friday. I have something to tell you about Friday. It's kind of interesting. I've already told you about it, but it's actually happening Friday. Well, I did the Wednesday update, and I talked about something coming up, so I'll do this today. It's Thursday. Tomorrow morning, I go for my MRI. That's to look at my new hernia. Um, I'm not going to have much news about it because it's then going to go to the doctor. Then the doctor's going to have an appointment to discuss the news and discuss what happens next. This is all eventually leading to gastric bypass surgery, which I'm not a fan of, honestly, because it's a huge commitment to do it right. It's a huge lifestyle change. So we shall see what happens. Hopefully, it's all good news. Well, it's always going to be. I mean, the news is going to be the news. But it depends on if they're going to fast track me or if they're already going to fast track me anyway, or if they're going to slow it down or what. So we shall see. The weight loss has gone a little slower than I'd like. Still hoping to hit that 450 by June 30th. I just need to crack down on myself more to make sure that happens. Anyway, this is Daisy. I have 3 cats. I only really wanted 1 or 2, but I wound up with 3. Anyway, and my daughter would have 17 because she loves cats. I mean, I love cats too. It's just, I have to be practical. Hello, good morning, Mr. Bond. No, not really. Wrong kind of cat. So I had a bit of a preview as to what my weight was likely to be. Oh, she's going to jump down? Down she goes. She never wants to be held for long, but she always wants to be held. A preview as to what my weight was likely to be when I went for the CAT scan. I thought it was an MRI. I guess it's a CAT scan. I don't know, whatever. It's a big round thing and they push you back and forth through it. So I got there and they, of course, want to take my weight, which is probably necessary for, figuring out the machine or something. It was a clothed weight, but I didn't have anything in my pockets. So that kind of gave me an idea what my weight was, because I kind of know roughly my, clothes weigh between 5 and 7.2 pounds, depending on what I'm wearing. More like 10 pounds if I'm wearing my jean jacket. So I'm going to take a little sip. So I knew kind of where it was going to be. And it was actually a little better than that because I thought my clothes weighed less, I guess, because I had nothing in my pockets. So I guess my wallet, keys, and phone don't weigh as much as I think they do. Anyway, so it's Saturday morning, and I decided I would wait until 10 o'clock to weigh myself, to just give, any last chance for any last evacuations to occur, and they did occur. So I weighed myself, and I was very, very pleasantly surprised, actually. 481.8. Which is down 5.9 from last week. So that's actually really good. And what I did, and I think, what did I do? I went back to the basics, which is the basics I've been trying to say and trying to stick with, which is keep a general count of calories. I mean, I'm not one of those obsessive people. I'm not going to keep a food diary. I'm not going to do all these other things that they say you should do that mostly nobody does. It's like keeping a food diary is like flossing your teeth. You probably should do it, but nobody ever does it. Okay, so number 1, keep a general count of your calories. Kind of look at it, kind of keep in your brain, sort of, okay, well, I had about 300 calories, and this one here's about 240, so down about 500, okay, something like that. Don't have to keep it exact, just keep it general. So that will also keep you aware of what you're eating. So that's number 1. Keep a general track of the calories. That's for me. Number 2 is low carb. Carbs hide a lot in processed food. So if you're capable of cooking for yourself or your circumstances allow you to cook for yourself, you should do that. Packaged foods, I would read the ingredients. A lot of them have hidden sugars. If you read the nutrition info, a lot of them have hidden carbs. Usually they have a ton of hidden salt. Salt, okay, so I talked about you can't really sweat out, but you can keep in. Salt will cause you to keep in more water, just because that's how it works. Okay, so low carb, higher protein. And the last one is, which I hadn't been doing a lot, which may be part of it, is fiber. And I use a fiber supplement. I use Metamucil. I'm not sponsored. It's the common brand. A fiber supplement to ensure everything is flowing through the system. Because a lot of your fiber generally is going to come from things like grains, which are going to have your higher carbs. Of course, you can get like celery and other vegetables that have got good amount of fiber in them. But so that's what I've been doing, and I've been going back to it and sticking to it. So I got to stick to it because clearly it works. So yeah, 5.9 loss this week. That's good. Treating myself with a cup of coffee with cinnamon in it. I think I may have mentioned that before, but it's a nice way to make a nice, certainly nice smelling, nice tasting little cup of coffee, which doesn't add any calories. Now I put sweetener and creamer. Creamer has a small amount of calories. I think it's like 10 calories per teaspoon. So there's probably 2 teaspoons in here. So that's 20 calories. Small calories I don't really count, but you have to look. Sometimes things surprise you. I bought for my daughter some caramel syrup, and I thought that it wasn't very high, and actually it was. It's very high. It was like 90 calories and a good dose of carbs per usage. And well, you put a double dose in a big cup of coffee, now you're talking 200 calories. So yeah, you've got to just take a look at them. If they're really low, you can probably discount them. Like the Crystal Light that I drink is very low. I kind of discount it. The creamer, I kind of discount it because it's going to take a lot of, I have to have 10 cups of coffee for it to make a significant amount. I'd have to have 10 big glasses of juice for it to make a significant amount. So those I don't count. But I had some pepperoni sticks. After the MRI, I had to go for blood work, so I had to make sure I was hydrated and not whatever. So because I had to not eat for 12 hours before and then whatever. So I bought a couple pepperoni sticks, and they were tiny print. They were either 80 or 90. I couldn't quite tell from the print because it was so small, even with my glasses. But so those I had to keep kind of track of because that's like 200 calories. 90 plus 90 is 180. That's 200. I got some orange juice again because I had the blood test coming up and I wanted to make sure I was properly hydrated. And I got a diet soda. See, the small orange juice was 160. So you keep track. There's 160 plus like 180. Well, that's 340. So you keep that in your little brain and go, okay, I had about 300 pounds, 300 calories, 350 calories. And then so anytime you have anything beyond just something small, like I said, a coffee or a diet soda, and don't do too much diet soda because there's all chemicals, but keep track of it. And there's no magic number. Like I said earlier on, your body needs a certain amount to stay alive. The idea is to be below that, but not so much below that you're fainting. So your body probably needs about 2,500 calories. If you have 1,500 or 1,000, you should be okay. But again, keep track, okay? And if you start to get up high, if you start to get over 1,000, start going, okay, whoa. Now I need to really keep track of the rest of the day, but just a minor track. And I've been enjoying the comments a lot, and your stories and everything. It's a small group. It's an important group to me. And I hope I'm important to you. And let's have some continued success together. And let's not let the stumbling blocks trip us. And if they do, let's just get up and get going again. And good morning to you.